Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So, first and foremost, yes, this video is not clickbait. Today we're going to be talking about XRP's $100 price tag per XRP. I think that a lot of people think that it's just clickbait whenever I make videos on this. I really try to break down the technology stack behind it, but I also, try to, break down the most in detail way that we can get to these price figures. Now, first off, before we even jump into the video on the price figures, I do want to talk to you guys real quick about the market. So as we do have a little bit of a field day today, as Bitcoin is up 7% and a lot of altcoins are actually up as well. I want you guys to understand that we are seeing GDP reports and things like that coming out this month. I do believe that we have an employment number being released today. So just be cautious with that. On the 24-hour span, we are seeing some nice, altcoin movement. I just recently talked to you guys about Curve and also even Avi. Both of them up significantly on the 24-hour span and even on the 7-day span. Curve is actually the #1 performer right now, up 51%, and Avi up like 27% for an example. So those are two coins that I have been eyeing the most in regards to like oversold territory. But, right now I am not taking any major positions. I have not bought, today. I have been buying here and there for the last couple weeks. And, things are looking pretty good right now. But I do suspect that we will see a major move down. In regards to like volume on Bitcoin with this, move, there really isn't a lot of volume there to really kind of back this move. So I'm just being a little bit cautious as we do range into, of course, today. But enough of that. Let's actually talk about a few things. So first off, I tweeted this out saying, don't care, for the absurd price predictions on XRP, but I do care for, one, and that is the $100 price tag on XRP. $4.8 trillion market cap with CS in mind, circulating supply. This is nothing in the scope of value XRP could unlock/disrupt. Now, of course, I've made videos on the rhetorical price on XRP. I've talked to you guys about the buyback price of $30,000, for an example. I've talked to you guys about XRP going to $1,000 to $10,000. But honestly, and I've shared with you guys my thoughts on those videos, like talking about like, is it possible? Could we get there? And what would we have to actually do to get to those price targets? A lot of those situations are a little bit unrealistic. But $100 XRP to me is actually fairly realistic. You compare it to like equities, for an example. I know that a lot of people think that like utilizing something like Apple to kind of compare market cap is a little bit, weird, or, it's not logical, but I actually think that it's, really kind of in a level playing field if you think about it, right? So like think about a market cap for a company that's focused on just like consumer products, for an example. And then you compare it to an asset, right? And I really don't like to compare, like, I don't like to say like XRP is an asset. To me, I look at XRP as like a fundamental tool that will fix trillion-dollar problems. That's how I look at XRP. I don't really look at it as an investment vehicle. I don't look at it as a crypto asset. I look at it as a tool that is going to be utilized to facilitate, a major problem-solving tool that's going to unlock trillions of dollars and actually move trillions of dollars in real time. And when we look at this, right, you kind of have to think to yourself, like, all right, well, you have this consumer product, asset that you can invest into, or stock, and then you have this like groundbreaking technology that is changing everything. You cannot put a price on that. Do I think that it could be worth more than $100? Sure, but I think that $4.8 trillion, and even if you were going off of like the full-on, supply at around like roughly almost $10 trillion, for an example, I still think that that is pretty realistic for what XRP is going after, or I should say what Ripple is trying to target with XRP. Now let's actually talk about this. So first and foremost, we do see a recent article by Ripple's Brooks Entwistle. The deeper the liquidity pools, the more quickly we can get to value in crypto. And this underscores the price stabilizing force of liquidity. Now, of course, shout out to Wrath of Kahneman on Twitter. But in regards to this, I have actually talked to you guys about liquidity and how large of a use case it actually is. I think ultimately a lot of people kind of just, throw XRP out as a investable, asset just because they have been for the longest time seeing, major FUD around it. We had the SEC lawsuit, obviously, and also the price action on XRP. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm very transparent on this channel. The price action on XRP has been horrendous. But of course, as you guys know, I always try to pay attention to the tech stack. I try to pay attention to the team, what they are doing behind the scenes with an asset like XRP. And that's where my confidence actually grows around XRP being a long-term shot in the dark that could ultimately, make a lot of people rich, including myself, being an investor into it. Now, of course, I've always said like liquidity does unlock major doors. And I've always said, like, even in regards to liquidity itself, it's a very large aspect in regards to like the value that it actually will move and actually, really disrupt. On-demand liquidity compared to any other service in this market, and when I say service, I mean like utility case, is extremely diverse. I would say XRP's utility case is probably one of the most unique use cases in this market to date. And again, remember, XRP is not a new asset. This is a tried and true, asset going back over a decade ago now. So again, in that time frame, we still have not seen anything like on-demand liquidity come out. We've seen slightly similar use cases, but again, the technology stack behind XRP in regards to like Ripple's tech stack is patent technology. So again, it really kind of makes sense that there isn't a service similar to it. Now, of course, we do see over here Ripple XRP is a clear winner in the cross-border space. Zoe Cruz, co-president of Morgan Stanley. XRP is used as a bridge currency that solves a multi-trillion-dollar problem. Ripple XRP is a clear winner in the cross-border scene. And yeah, 100%. Again, going back to like the $4.8 trillion or even like $10 trillion, utilizing the entire supply. You got to think about it, right? Cross-border payments is over a $100 trillion market by itself. And that's just like cross-border payments. We're not even talking about the other use cases that XRP could be facilitated for. We actually do see that over here. XRP Ledger, on the other hand, advanced interoperability features, bridge, clear winner for cross-border payments, crucial part of the Internet of Value, cheap and energy efficient, extremely fast. We do see down here, this is a quote from Brad Garlinghouse. I don't understand if you're just moving within the JPM ledger and it has to be a dollar-to-dollar, one-to-one backing. I don't understand what problem that solves. And this is actually a very, and we have the quote here. This is like a minute and 2-second video. Listen closely to this.
So I got asked this last week. I was speaking at a Morgan Stanley conference, and somebody asked me, there was this headline, set of headlines about, about the JPM coin. Right. And this guy was from Morgan Stanley who was interviewing me. I said, so is Morgan Stanley going to use the JPM coin? And he's like, well, probably not. And so, well, is Citi going to use the JPM coin? Is B of A going to use the JPM coin? Is PNC? And the answer is no. And so does that mean we're all going to have these different coins? And does that mean like we're back to where we are, where there's lack of interoperability? So like, well, I don't get it. One more quick thing on the JPM coin. So let's think about this. The JPM coin, they announced for institutional customers, if you give them $1 in deposits, they'll give you a JPM coin that you then can move within the JPM ledger. Wait a minute, just use the dollar.
Right.
Well, I really don't understand. Like, if you're just moving it within the JPM ledger, and it has to be dollar to dollar, a one-to-one backing, it honestly doesn't actually, I don't understand what problem that solves.
Now, also, all right, within this quote, did you notice that other quote by Brad? Let me go back. Maybe you didn't listen closely to it, but listen to this.
See, and the answer is no. And so does that mean we're all going to have these different coins? And does that mean like we're back to where we are, where there's lack of interoperability? So like,
now, with that, right, he's talking about, are we all going to have these different coins? Are we going to be back to like, step one where we have, not interoperability between all of these networks, which we're basically getting to in regards to like CBDCs, for an example, which is why like interoperability is such a crucial area. But it would be a lot easier, if they just utilized one ledger, for an example. And I think that that's where a lot of people come into play, where around like, all of the money will be sourced through XRP, which I also think is very unrealistic. That was one of these situations with like, for an example, XRP going to like 1,000, 10,000, etc. It would have to move like basically all of the money, which is worth like over $1 quadrillion in regards to like derivatives and things like that. But when we do talk about like the technology, here, I think that this is, fairly logical. Like, this is what we are seeing become a problem with a large amount of these other assets or these coins or these ledgers that are basically primed to be like the XRP killer. It replaced XRP, and this is going to be way bigger than XRP. A lot of them are just dollar to dollar backing. And again, it does not solve any problems at that point in time. It's still extremely, inefficient. It's slow. It doesn't solve anything. That's why I've said, like, XRP, in regards to the XRP ledger, it has solved nearly everything inefficient around the current payment infrastructure. And I'm not saying that it's only the XRP ledger. There's other ledgers out there that have great, fundamentals to them. But when we look at XRP, the big difference is the liquidity sourcing. That is a very large stepping stone. Now, also, in regards to this, like, there's been many articles written around XRP and even like the role of just crypto in general within the cross-border payment scene. And I love talking about the cross-border payment scene just because it's a very easy market for us to actually disrupt, because again, there's nothing really out there trying to target that space. And remember, like, when we look at XRP's value at $100, first off, it would be a 286x opportunity, $4.8 trillion market cap. Going off of the total supply of, again, like here you guys have, a $100 XRP, it would be a $10 trillion market cap, basically. When we look at the fundamentals here and we compare like where we basically are at in regards to like crypto adoption, specifically around, a lot of these, major markets like cross-border payments, for an example, do I think that $10 trillion is easily attainable within, like, say for so, like the next 8 to 10 years? Yes, 100%. Reason why is because not only have we added $1 trillion in 1 quarter in crypto to the market cap, but the adoption of crypto technology has been soaring. It's been spotlighted. We are basically at that point in time where we are nearing the mass adoption area. But again, let's actually, take a look at this. So obviously they're talking about, how today cross-border payments are, on the cusp of further transformation. Blockchain technology and digital assets like XRP can help enable a more frictionless cross-border payment experience for both senders and receivers. And of course, we have seen, even in regards to like on-demand liquidity services around something like XRP, this has been setting records in regards to like growth and traction. This goes back to October 2021. I'm sure that a large amount of you have already seen this. XRP basically accounted for over 25% of the total dollar volume across the network. And I do suspect that this will continue to grow. And honestly, if we did see, regulatory clarity come to, the space for XRP, for an example, we would see that, number shoot up to probably over 50+%, which is a very significant amount, especially if we look at like Ripple, for an example, scaling to more and more customers, as we have seen this year. For an example, like we did see, Ripple signs a new partnership with international money transfer firm to use XRP for cross-border payments. This goes back to May 18th, by the way. This was with Finci, by the way. I can't even say this name. Vilnius, headquartered Finci, to offer services for both retail and business-to-business customers. And I do apologize for butchering that. But yeah, I mean, like, even in regards to this is a very large stepping stone for not only Ripple, but also XRP, as we do see it spotlighted for this specific region. And when we really look at this market, this is a very ripe for disruption market. Liquidity is a major issue around like the pre-funded accounts. And this is, to me, a moment in time to really kind of, step back and say, all right, well, this is, an over $100 trillion market. And there is one major player that is, really kind of focused on the scene, and that is Ripple. And they have been building out some major connections. For an example, like this was not the only connection. We also seen, this going back to October 2021. Ripple launched its cross-border payment, platform in the MENA region. And, this was one that we really kind of, started to focus on a little bit more because, again, the volume here is actually pretty large. I mean, it's a $78 billion, volume in regards to transactions between UAE and Saudi Arabia in 2020, for an example, and amounted to 7% of the total GDP of the two countries. Again, this was just one partnership just to actually really kind of put that in the scope. Like, that's $78 billion. And then, of course, like we just seen back in June, Nevada's AUDC to leverage Ripple's XRP ledger for cost-efficient cross-border payments. Again, sourcing liquidity through XRP, in my opinion at least. Of course, you guys can look at that however you want. It's me speculating a little bit, but that's basically what I would be looking at in regards to like utilizing the on-demand liquidity service. For an example, here in April 2021, the company tapped into Ripple's on-demand liquidity service to provide remittance services between Australia and the Philippines, which again would be sourcing XRP. Now, again, when we really look at the scope here and we look at XRP making up 25% of the total volume across the network, think about it like this. Okay, we might be at 25% now, but think about it at like 50%. And think about like if Ripple could get to the point where they are transacting over $1 trillion per year on their network, and XRP is making up just $500 billion worth of that. Like that is a very significant amount, and XRP would, soar off of that amount being transacted through, for example, like XRP being, facilitated with all those transactions. But that's just like the bare minimum start. All right, like we have been seeing Ripple continue to expand on-demand liquidity globally, so we could assume at some point in time, Ripple will be facilitating over $10 trillion plus a year, and if XRP could just facilitate 50% of that, or maybe even 25% of that, as we are seeing here, now that's a very significant amount for XRP to settle. Now, again, this is a little bit more speculation, but, as we have seen the growth on Ripple, just think about it like this. Where is Ripple going to be in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? To me, do I think that XRP can go to $100? Yes. I do think that this is, logical. I think that this is, possible as well. Now, am I going to say like a 286x opportunity is incredible for like a 10-year hold? No, I do not think that that is incredible. Again, remember, there's a ton of assets that could deliver that, in a year or even 2 years. So to me personally, is it worth it to wait forever for this $100 XRP? Or would it be better to, for an example, hold XRP, sell near the tops during the bull run and buy back in during the bear market to actually, up my bag on XRP until we get to the $100 XRP? I think that that would be a little bit more logical. Obviously, I'm not telling you guys what to do, with your XRP or anything like that. But yeah, I could definitely see XRP going to $100. Could I see it going higher? Sure, I can, but I'm not going to speculate too much on that. I think that $100 is a pretty safe region because, again, $4.8 trillion is not like a small figure at all. But if we're talking about like, the entire crypto market, for an example, going to like, 50 to $100 trillion, for an example, by 2030, then a large amount of these top 10 tokens or even top 25 tokens could easily have a market cap of roughly like, 2 to 5 to even $10 trillion per, each token. Now, obviously, we have to really kind of look at dominance around that range. What percentage are these tokens going to make up in regards to this market? We don't really know. It's questionable. Again, this is just kind of speculation around the value around XRP and even crypto in general. So we don't really know exactly what the numbers are actually going to look like at that current moment in time. But I can say this. I'm very excited for the future of this market. I'm very excited for the future of XRP. And with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As those up to you all, have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.